This ballet's been a long time coming, and it feels good to finally be here.
One of the things that really attracted us to this as a subject matter is that Mexico's extraordinary gift to the world of Mexican culture is something you could just completely lose yourself in. From a design point of view, to a choreographic point of view, to a musical point of view, it's just such an incredible, rich resource.
Chris and Bob and Joby have worked together on so many projects, and we're all the same kind of team. I was doing a lot of research, and Bob, the designer, came up to me and he said, can you just look at the architect, Luis Barragan, a Mexican architect. His style is quite similar to how Bob approaches design. It's very graphic, it's very colourful. And what the interesting thing was is how light moved around Barragan's buildings. And we thought that was quite good as a translation on stage.
Bob, very often in his productions, tends to do an abstract set with very naturalistic costumes. We hardly ever start the costumes before the set has been designed. We've given all the principal characters a colour, which came from a description that Christopher gave us about Mama Elena, which was that she was like a bruise. And that sort of opened up a brilliant visual story.
I think what we've done with the story is quite cinematic, actually, in a way. The book is quite tightly woven and has multiple characters and covers a span of 30 years. And so it's my job then as a choreographer to go in with Joby, the composer, and kind of say, okay, which strands of this tale are we going to follow? And how are we going to link those strands together?
Okay, 2 before 1, 2, 4. And
Every story requires a different mode of storytelling. So when you come to something like this, you have more opportunity to try and establish themes for individual characters, and there are some. Pedro has quite a clear theme, but he's more associated with the instrument of the guitar. Tita is associated with the instrument of the ocarina. Nacha with the cedar flute, which is another indigenous American and beautiful instrument. There's also a lot of actual Latin American dance rhythms in there. So to have Alondra working with the wonderful orchestra here to explain how that kind of groove works and the subtle shifts in rhythm that make it really kind of sit was fascinating to watch.
The sense of excitement, particularly now around getting closer to opening, is palpable. So at any time, I can wander into the props department where they're building a horse for me, or a series of tables, or into the wardrobe department and see them hemming the dresses. It's very special.
Would you mind going up on point so I can see? Really important that we see the feet. Yeah. The fitting that we're doing is for Mama Elena's mother. And we'll do this little alteration up here. Yeah. As well. We start this ballet in the 1900s. You know, women wore corsets, they had layers of underwear, and of course you can't really do any of that with ballet. So you have to suggest what corsetry would be like in other ways.
Do you want to be able to move, but you also want it to be beautifully fitted, which they've done a grand job, actually.
We're going to be distressing the costumes to make them look slightly moth-eaten and nibbled, and as if we're looking at an old photo. What's so marvellous about what Karen Sharp, our maker, has done is it's so clearly what the drawing is that Bob did. You know, it just works so well, doesn't it? There's no doubt.
Yeah. Great.
Fab.
Whenever Chris does something, it's exciting for the people to make it. It's always something that's a slightly odd colour. It's never just a simple prop. It always has to do something, and that's Chris's magic. I'll be looking at how things are sitting on stage, how they are lit. We'll be working with Natasha Katz, the lighting designer, just to see if things are coming across in the way we want and whether there needs to be any adjustments.
I am right now going to cut 178.
Okay.
It's exciting to see the picture forming. We place it on stage and we add lights and we add orchestra and we add costumes. It's stressful and magical at the same time.
I've been living with this music on and off for 3 years. And now those decisions that Chris and I made back 3 years ago, they now exist to be seen. And I'm just so thrilled to finally see it actually coming together.
This production really lives kind of in abstract, sort of poetic realm. We're not trying to recreate traditional Mexico and put it on stage. You know, I hope that the Mexican people that come to see the show feel my love for their culture. It's a country full of magic, and we wanted to find an essence that represented that.